Some crimes feel like they happened yesterday, but the trail went cold decades ago. Families lost hope. Detectives retired. The case file gathered dust on a forgotten shelf. But here's the thing about the past. It never truly stays buried, because one new piece of technology, one overlooked clue, can drag a decades-old mystery back into the light. Today, we're going to step deep into the world of cold cases, the history, the science, and the breakthroughs that are finally giving victims their voices back. Before we get into the tech and the science, let's start with what a cold case actually means. In police terms, a cold case is any investigation that has gone unsolved for a long period, usually years, sometimes decades, with no new leads, no fresh suspects, and no breakthroughs. But this concept isn't new. Even in the 1800s, detectives were dealing with the same problem. Once witnesses forgot details, evidence degraded, and suspects disappeared, cases would stall. Back then, without forensic science, solving a cold case often meant waiting for a confession or sheer luck. In the 20th century, cold case units began forming in big cities. The goal was simple: reopen old files and see if new technology or fresh eyes could spot what was missed. But until the late 20th century, the tools were limited. No DNA, no digital databases, no way to reanalyze fingerprints at scale. That all changed in the 1980s and 90s. And from then on, cold cases would never be the same. Let's break down the three major forensic game changers: DNA, fingerprints, and digital forensics. Imagine you commit a crime in 1985. You leave behind a drop of blood or a strand of hair. But back then, police couldn't do anything with it. Fast forward to today. That same hair could be the key to your arrest. DNA forensics works by analyzing unique genetic markers in human cells. No two people, except identical twins, have the same DNA. When scientists extract DNA from evidence, they can compare it to samples in massive databases like CODIS in the US or the UK's National DNA Database. This is how, in 2018, investigators identified Joseph James DeAngelo, the Golden State Killer, after more than 40 years. They used genetic genealogy, uploading crime scene DNA to a public ancestry site, and matched it to distant relatives. From there, they built a family tree, and the hunt narrowed to one man. That arrest alone changed how the world saw cold cases, because it proved that time doesn't erase DNA. Long before DNA, fingerprints were the gold standard for identification. Every person's fingerprints are unique. Even identical twins have different prints. And unlike witness memories, fingerprints don't fade with time. In the past, fingerprint matching was slow and manual. Examiners compared prints side by side under magnifying glasses. Now with AFIS, automated fingerprint identification systems, millions of prints can be scanned and matched in seconds. This technology has breathed life into countless cold cases. For example, in 2019, police in Florida solved the 1984 murder of a woman named Christine Prince after a latent fingerprint, one partial print found at the scene, was reanalyzed with new scanning tech. A match popped up in the database, leading to an arrest 35 years later. We live in a digital age where almost everything leaves a trace. Phone data, security cameras, social media activity, and even smart home devices. In modern cold case work, digital forensics means retrieving and analyzing this data to create a timeline. Even if a murder happened in 1999, old cell tower records can be used to confirm a suspect's location. Old CCTV footage can be enhanced using AI. Emails and text messages from decades ago can be restored from backup drives. Sometimes just one recovered phone call log can blow a case wide open. Let's walk through a few cases that show exactly how these tools work in the real world. 1. The Bear Brook Murders, New Hampshire, USA. 4 unidentified victims were found in barrels in the 1980s. For decades, no one knew who they were or who killed them. Genetic genealogy identified the victims and then linked them to a man named Terry Rasmussen, now suspected in multiple murders. 2nd April Tinsley, Indiana, USA. An 8-year-old girl was murdered in 1988. In 2018, DNA genealogy led to John D. Miller, a suspect who had lived freely for 30 years. 3. The murder of Michelle Welch, Washington, USA. Murdered in 1986, her killer wasn't found until 2018, when cold case detectives used advanced DNA phenotyping to create a suspect's facial profile. That image eventually led to an arrest. These stories show us that cold cases aren't just unsolvable. They're simply waiting for the right moment. Even with modern tools, not every mystery gets solved. Here's why. 1. Evidence is often lost, destroyed, or contaminated. 2. No DNA match. If the suspect has never been arrested or tested, their profile won't be in the database. 3. Lack of resources. Cold case units often have tiny budgets and huge backlogs. 4. Witness silence. Fear, loyalty, or forgetfulness can keep the truth buried. Sometimes the hardest cases are the ones with too many possibilities, where every lead branches into dozens of dead ends. Cold cases remind us of something chilling. Criminals may think time is their ally, but science is patient. Every year, forensic technology gets sharper, faster, and more precise. That means the clock isn't running out for justice. It's running out for those who thought they got away. Somewhere right now, an unsolved case file is being pulled from the shelf. A lab tech is swabbing a decades-old envelope. And somewhere out there, a suspect's days of freedom are quietly ticking down.